What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blueblood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, unified British heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua just did a recent interview with IFLTV and Kugan Cassius, and the topic at hand came up about Anthony Joshua possibly facing off against undefeated WBC American heavyweight world champion Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, in which Anthony Joshua stated that when Kugan Cassius asked him, Eddie Hearn, Matchroom CEO and promoter Anthony Joshua stated that he believes that Deontay Wilder deserves a 50-50 split in the negotiations for the fight. Anthony Joshua said, why? He said he doesn't believe that Deontay Wilder deserves a 50-50 split. He says, explain to me, why does he deserve a 50-50 split? He said, Kugan Cassius then states and tells Anthony Joshua, well, the world feels like that because you lost now, right? You have a loss on your resume. And Anthony Joshua responded by saying, yeah, I have a loss on my resume, but most people thought that I couldn't win the rematch. So, winning the rematch was just as big as winning, is just as big or overtakes the fact that I lost. So he said that, coming back and getting the biggest rematch victory of one of the biggest upsets in the history of the sport of boxing speaks volumes. So Kugan Cassius says, so you don't believe that Deontay Wilder deserves a 50-50 split? And Anthony Joshua goes on to say, well, you have to explain to me why you feel like he deserves a 50-50 split. Why does Eddie Hearn, his promoter, he says that Eddie Hearn has to sit down and explain to him why he believes Deontay Wilder deserves a 50-50 split. And he says that he will have to have a meeting. He says you don't go into battle without knowing why you're going into battle. So if you feel like a guy deserves 50-50 split, you have to explain to me why he deserves a 50-50 split. I don't believe he deserves a 50-50 split. And if you're going to use the loss as a reasoning for why his stock has been elevated and competes with mine, then you have to look at the fact that I bounced back and had the biggest comeback victory. Wow. I told you guys I don't like the conversation that Anthony Joshua has. He contradicts himself. He claims that he was willing to offer Deontay Wilder an offer that he couldn't refuse. He stated that, this is a fight that needs to happen for the fans in 2020. He says that it's not about money. In the same token, in the same breath, again, he says it's not about money. Kugan says, well, to be fair, I understand why you don't want to on camera state that you accept 50-50 because you'll be held to it. He says, yeah, well, I made the statement of $50 million. He said was actually $60 million because I speak in pounds. He says, but at the end of the day, people take what I say in gold and they take it literally, right? So he's stating that, it doesn't matter because money doesn't matter. But at the same token, you're not willing to give him a 50-50 split for the biggest fight in the sport of boxing, right? And another thing is Deontay Wilder's resume speaks volumes. Deontay Wilder's resume is better than Anthony Joshua's resume, right? Deontay Wilder, what he did in the last 2 years, beating Ortiz, and he drew with Fury, but he beat Ortiz again, and now he's going back into a fight with Ortiz. When Anthony Joshua's claim to fame is beating Vladimir Klitschko, and Tyson Fury outclassed Vladimir Klitschko, beat him every single round when he was at the reign, at the top of his game, and took his belts. Anthony Joshua never defeated Tyson Fury for those belts. Tyson Fury lost those belts outside of the ring, right? So you got to look at it from that standpoint and that point of view, right? So this is Deontay Wilder defeats and knocks out Tyson Fury in their highly anticipated rematch. That's an even bigger comeback victory for Deontay Wilder than Anthony Joshua beating Andy Ruiz, because Andy Ruiz was an underdog, and Anthony Joshua was supposed to steamroll Andy Ruiz, right? Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury is a 50-50 fight. So, him drawing with Tyson Fury says more and speaks more volumes than Anthony Joshua losing, getting dropped 4 times and ultimately stopped by Andy Ruiz Jr., who was a massive underdog. I believe he's a 20-1 underdog, right? he was supposed to steamroll him, right? So that's not the boxing public's fault. That's not the fans' fault, and it's not the media's fault that you lost that fight in dramatic fashion, right? So yeah, that was one of the so your rematch was one of the more highly anticipated rematches because it's Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas. You wasn't supposed to lose that fight, right? Deontay Wilder's rematch with Tyson Fury is highly anticipated because you have two high-profile fighters. That's a difference, right? So Andy Ruiz wasn't supposed to win the fight. There was a chance Tyson Fury was supposed to win the fight with Deontay Wilder as they drew, and Tyson Fury was undefeated and was the man that beat the man. So when you look at that, you can't compare Andy Ruiz to Tyson Fury. So he knocks out Tyson Fury in this rematch, February 22nd, Las Vegas, Nevada, right? In dramatic fashion. It's not close when you compare what you did in the last 2 years to what he did in the last 2 years, okay? So it's not comparable. With beating Alexander Povetkin, Luis Ortiz is seen as a better fighter than Alexander Povetkin, point blank and period. He not get the opportunities Alexander Povetkin had, but Ortiz right now, if you put them in the ring, Ortiz would be the favorite to win that fight. So defeating Ortiz twice in dramatic fashion and knocking him out speaks volumes, right? You beat Alexander Povetkin and lost to Andy Ruiz and then had to come back and beat a guy in Andy Ruiz, right? Deontay Wilder would have disposed of Andy Ruiz, right? It wouldn't have been that dramatic situation. And then the rematch, people were not impressed with the way and the manner that you defeated Andy Ruiz, right? You refused to engage. I was impressed because of the adjustments, but the boxing fans in the boxing world wasn't impressed because you refused to engage with Andy Ruiz, right? So people look at it and state that you fought very, very cautious, and you were the same person that stated that Tyson Fury. You wasn't impressed with Tyson Fury beating Vladimir Klitschko because nobody wants to see heavyweights utilizing the ring and moving around, right? So that's a contradiction in itself because once you got beat by Andy Ruiz, your game plan was to utilize the ring and use movement, right? Something that you blamed Tyson Fury and was critical of Tyson Fury for doing against Vladimir Klitschko. And you said you wanted to engage. That's the reason why you had Fight of the Year fight with Vladimir Klitschko, a barn burner, which saw you have to get up off the canvas to be victorious. Nonetheless, you did, so kudos to you. But you was critical of the way Tyson Fury defeated Vladimir Klitschko, but you went and did the same thing with Andy Ruiz in the rematch. And Tyson Fury did that the first time. He got it right the first time. He didn't have to have a rematch to make the adjustments. So with that said, Deontay Wilder is the face of boxing. He's the most exciting athlete in all the sports. He gets a knockdown or knockout in every single fight. The fight that he didn't get a knockout, Bermane Stiverne, he came back in the rematch and knocked Bermane Stiverne out in dramatic fashion, right? He's going back he didn't knock Tyson Fury out. Arguably, I thought he did, and most of the boxing world believes he did. But Tyson Fury was allowed to get up and continue on. So that went down as a non-knockout, right? He knocked him down twice. He didn't knock him out. The first Stiverne fight, he knocked Stiverne down. He didn't knock him out, but he knocked him out the second time, right? Ortiz, he knocked him out both times, and he's going back into the rematch with Tyson Fury, which I expect him to knock him out the second time, which Anthony Joshua believes that Tyson Fury is going to win the fight. But nonetheless, when we talk about star power, Anthony Joshua's promoter, Matchroom CEO and promoter, Eddie Hearn, stated that he believes Deontay Wilder's stock has risen, especially seeing as though if he gets past Tyson Fury in dramatic fashion, he is evened out, and Anthony Joshua would have to understand that and give way to it, right? He would have to, cooperate with giving that man 50-50 because he earned it, is what Eddie Hearn stated, right? Even if you didn't believe that a couple years ago when they first started, you have to believe it now, point blank and period. It's not even close. Deontay Wilder is the face of all boxing, period, hands down. So if Anthony Joshua doesn't understand why Deontay Wilder's stock has risen, why Deontay Wilder deserves a 50-50 split, that's all because of defense, because he truly don't want the fight with Deontay Wilder, right? He makes claims that Deontay Wilder is the fight that he must have in 2020 for the fans, and then you turn around, now you're saying the man don't even deserve a 50-50 split. He then went on to say he believes it's 70-30 in his favor. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That is the most ridiculous thing I've heard in years. You believe Anthony Joshua is claiming that he believes it's a 70-30 split at this point in time in his favor because of his accomplishment in coming back and defeating Andy Ruiz in the rematch? No. That's unbelievable in my opinion, right? And so Anthony Joshua is just showing his true colors, and he really don't want the Deontay Wilder fight. He knows how it's going to turn out. He goes on to say he gives Deontay Wilder all the props in the world because he's a great fighter. Yeah, and that's a great fighter that you're in fear of. Point blank and period. Hands down. There's no other way to explain it. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.